Hello, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages. Welcome to another episode of Cocktails and Curveballs. With me, as always, we've got Ty, we've got Patrick, and we've got Lee. Before we get started, I'd like to thank all of our men and women in uniform, both foreign and domestic. Without you guys, we can't do what we do here. And I'd also like to thank our first responders, our men and women in blue, and our medical personnel who make sure we stay being able to do what we do. So just to let you guys know right off the bat, the mountains are blue again this morning, this afternoon, whatever. So
5 o'clock somewhere.
First thing I'd like to bring up, fellas, is Shohei Ohtani. Cleaned out his locker, supposedly. Reports cleaned out his locker in the Angels facility.
They put him on the IL, correct? And then
yes. Well, he he had a UCL issue with pitching, but then he tried to, play DH and stuff. And I just saw that in a batting practice session. He just had some discomfort. I want to say it was his hip or something like that. But shut him down. Why not? He's a free agent. Yeah, if I'm Shohei Ohtani, I think I'm shutting myself down too. But a couple things here. They were just talking about trading Mike Trout, right?
Yeah. It came out that they were open to listen to trades for Mike Trout because they're trying to bank money for Shohei Ohtani.
Of course. But so they were trying to trade Mike Trout or open to talks anyway. To trade Mike Trout. Then this happens with Ohtani cleaning out his locker and pretty much gone from the Angels facility. So two things. One, how's Mike Trout feeling right now? Over the past how many years has he been considered the elite in baseball? That's number one. Number two, where do you think Ohtani's going? Who can afford him? Let me throw this out there real quick. Something else that happened this week. Shane Bloom getting fired. The Red Sox GM. If you're a Red Sox fan, I know you guys aren't. I happen to be, but kind of disgusted with trade deadline non-movement. And just the players that he did kind of go after were just journeyman type, middle infielders, plug and play kind of guys. And that's just not Boston's way. And I know everybody bitches about Boston and New York and amongst other teams, the Dodgers that go after these, just these insane contracts. And he just never really did that. Never really improved the pitching, anything like that. So
how many years was he there, Jimmy? How many years?
I want to say he was there 4 years.
Three or four. I know it wasn't a long tenure.
I want to say this was his fourth after Dombrowski, right?
Yeah.
Epstein
and wait, so he was the acting GM, is that correct?
Shane Bloom was the GM.
Okay, so really quick, that is there's no better illustration right there of how little time you get nowadays. Sure. Nowadays you get hired, man. If you don't have that team on a quick track to the playoffs and looking like you're going to contend, peace out, man. I mean, it's quick.
But for some franchises, right, it's not even making the playoffs isn't good enough.
Right. Exactly.
No, absolutely not.
They want world championships.
Going back to the Ohtani thing, can you guys envision a scenario where they think they're going to retain Ohtani and they get rid of Trout, and then all of a sudden they don't keep Ohtani, and then the Angels are the Angels? You know what I mean?
That would happen.
I mean, when they opened up the conversation that
this is going to be
about Trout.
I think the world collectively is expecting, almost banking on the fact that somehow, one way or another, Angels are going to screw this up. And that's no disrespect to the Angels organization. It's just the two people.
It is. It absolutely is.
Well, okay. So, but even that being considered, I wouldn't want my team to be in this situation. I mean, what do you do, man? What do you
I
do?
think their plan was hopefully trying to dump Trout's salary, but they're going to end up having to eat part of it, man, and then throwing even more money to keep Ohtani. And if they lost them both, I mean, hell,
They're gonna lose
what
Ohtani
happens?
they're gonna lose Ohtani for nothing.
For nothing.
Exactly,
He
because they
walks. He
didn't
just
sign and
walks.
trade or anything.
Right.
The Angels,
Ty, do you see a situation where Boston does something, convinces Ohtani to sign a 1-year contract, like a sign and trade to another team? Is that a possibility, do you think?
I don't think so, dude. I think Ohtani's hitting the open market.
I think
it's-
Ohtani's
Do
definitely
you think
hitting the
his
open
mind's
market.
made up? You think like he's ready? Show me the money. I want to go to contender. I'm out.
Yes,
They
100%.
had all
because
season to
at this
work on
point,
this, man.
they've had all season. They've had the last couple years to work on an extension, something. And I think it would be a disservice to himself for Ohtani to not see what's out there. Right? I mean,
I agree.
like there is a point where so much money is gonna sway a person.
He's not
going to take a $300 million less contract just to stay with the Angels. Like if he's hearing these 500, 600, who knows how much, the total contract's going to be worth.
Right.
I think he's got all the right in the world to at least hear offers. And
I
there
agree.
should be,
Well, but also-
there should be
also the
30,
Angels
there
didn't
should
come
be
to the
30
plate.
offers. There should be 30 offers sent to Ohtani. Everybody should at least put their name in the, of course, some teams can't do it, but
yeah, I was gonna say yes or no, Ty, because Oakland and Tampa, they're not even right. But Jim, let me ask you:
if you were going to mortgage your future on a player right now,
I agree with that.
It's
So,
Ohtani,
Jim, let me ask you: I want to hear your opinion on this. Is it insane? Is it obscene right now to consider the fact that during the trade deadline, we all agree? I think we all agree that Angels should have tried to trade one of those guys. That'd be one less headache on their plate right now. But is it insane to think that under normal circumstances you would expect the Angels to have all the leverage because they have the rights to Ohtani? But now looking back, the rest of the league had all the leverage, right? Because the rest of the league knows that Ohtani's coming up to his free agent season, and they're like, nobody's going to trade what Angels are asking for Ohtani, so we're all going to sit back, and you guys are going to eat it when he becomes a free agent. It's crazy to think that Angels had no leverage during the trade season. The rest of the league had all the leverage, right? Am I right?
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because number one, the Angels, they didn't. If you guys remember, right during the trade deadline, the Angels were kind of on a roll. They were looking like
they were
they could end up in the wild card or something like that. Then all of a sudden, bam, they lose 8 straight or some crazy shit like that.
Right.
Took them completely out of it. And I think that's kind of where Ohtani was just kind of, you can offer him all the money in the world. My thoughts have been, how much does he pitch anymore? With the UCL operation coming. How much does he pitch anymore? Being that he's such a talent at the plate, do you risk him pitching and losing him for half of a season? Or does a team with bona fide pitching, a team like the Dodgers, or goddamn, you look at a team like the Rangers and stuff, who already have their own contract issues, by the way. But a team that's pitching, just bring in Ohtani. On the other hand, there's only certain teams that are going to be able to afford him.
So true, right? But I mean, he hit the IL with what, 44 bombs, right? He was at 44. If it becomes a thing where he wants to only go one side of the ball, that's going to affect his contract. If he goes in and says, "Hey, yeah, I'll be a pitcher and I'll play," then he'll get that $500 to $600 million contract. But can you justify that kind of money for? Well, you're just going to hit for us. You're just going to be on offense. We're not going to have you pitch. I don't know.
How effective are you going to be any more pitching? Are you leading the league in strikeouts anymore? Are you? That's where I think he's running. He's going to run into this wall. And I think the 500, 600 million is out the window right now.
He's going to run out of gas. I agree. He was sitting with what, a 3.14 ERA. So
Well,
it's
yeah.
hard to say which way he's
Look at
going to
what
go.
Judge-
But
Look what Judge just signed for. Look what Mike Trout just signed for. Neither one of those guys pitched. They unloaded the freaking bank vault for Mike Trout. You mean to tell me with being the best hitter in the league, which, okay, even if he's not number one, he's got to be number two. You mean to tell me that someone's not willing to give him $600 million just to stand at the plate and swing the bat? I
No.
think.
No way.
Really?
no, I don't think so, man. No,
Well, they
way.
did for
I
Trout.
I don't see
They
it.
did for Trout.
Trout got like what? Got only, but
like
like
600 million. It was like
450?
600.
I think it
No,
was
I
like
thought
12
I thought you
450.
signed like an 11-year contract or something for like $636 million or some crazy shit like that.
Well, it was.
I don't think it was
like
that much.
330. Yeah, it's
It
like
was-
330 million. I mean, he's
It was
right around
12
them.
12 year 426 million
Or 26. I
For
mean,
12 years though.
for
Well,
12
years,
years.
bro.
but how long
35
ago was that though? How long ago was it? Was that 4 years?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
inflation.
something like that.
I think even just to swing the bat, I don't think, and especially how there's dumb teams, man. Teams do dumb shit. I don't think it's out of the question for somebody to pay $500 million for him to stand at the plate and swing the bat.
For
I
Mike
don't see
Trout
it, man.
only making $35 million a year, would you want your team trading for him?
I
mean,
don't
he's-
think so, man.
You don't think so?
That's where we're at right now. And then Trout signs that contract, and I love Mike Trout.
I
But
do
he
too.
signs that contract, and he's in and out of the lineup. He's kind of an out. I hate to say this about a Mike Trout, but he's kind of an afterthought right now. It's
Which
kind
is
of like
crazy.
the Angels are
That's
just
crazy because when he's in the lineup, he's so productive.
he's so
Still.
good. But still, yeah, you got to look at the economics of your own team within the league that's saying, okay, we're paying this guy 35 million and he's playing 80, 90 games a year.
Jim, is there a situation, do you think? Is there a situation you think where a team could, in not so many words, steal Mike Trout? I mean, is there a situation you
I think
where a
the
team-
Angels are going to have to eat some of his salary,
They're
dude.
gonna
I don't
eat-
know
a
that
team
another
will-
team.
A team
I'm
will
not talking
steal
about
them
that.
off the bat.
I'm not talking about that, Lee. I'm not talking about eating contract. I mean, I think that goes without saying. They are going to eat a ton of salary to unload Mike Trout. What I'm talking about is there a situation, in your guys' opinion, where Angels take two solid AAA guys, one veteran pitcher, and a really good reliever? Which is fucking highway robbery, in my opinion. But is there a situation where the Angels just say, "Fucking listen"? I mean,
If they don't
do you
land,
see that?
if they don't land Ohtani, then why keep Mike Trout? Why not try and get something? Because with Ohtani, they're not a playoff team.
They are
So-
not. Listen, Angels are not getting anywhere. They're not going to sniff the worth of Mike Trout. They're not getting anywhere close to what Mike Trout is worth, man. No fucking way.
Which is what I'm saying. Look at the Bryce Harper, the Manny Machados, the even Devers. He signed a $300 million contract
Isn't that crazy?
in Boston. But I mean, he's up there, league leaders in RBIs, 32 bombs. I mean, it's not a terrible season. But you got a $300 million.
That is so much money, man.
It's so much money. And if that person isn't performing the same way that the reason you signed him to that, you're getting bent over, man. It's just, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You are. And I hate to say that about Mike Trout because I know nobody gives more effort in the game. Nobody loves the game more than Mike Trout.
Right.
And nobody
The
is
part
more
is
fun
there's
to
a
watch.
dozen teams that'll do it. There's a dozen.
If your team's
that'll do it.
close, though, if your team's getting close,
Right, Ty.
like
Right.
is what I'm thinking right now. Like the Mariners, what if a team like the Mariners who are close, like they're close to being something,
One or two players away.
and if you had a Mike Trout DHing hitting 5, what does that do to your lineup?
That's a steep lineup, man. Damn.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know what I'm
it
like.
makes your lineup-
How long does that make your lineup? Or
Oh.
is a team willing to go, okay, $35 million, whatever, maybe the Angels eat some, maybe they don't, whatever, but we're a Mike Trout who doesn't have to play center field, just DH, come just fucking hit the ball for us, and try and keep him healthy. It would be my thought.
What a
Because-
team like what about a team like the Dodgers who just have bottomless buckets of cash and just
Well,
right.
That's
you can
where
even
I
see-
was going to go. That's
Right.
where I was going to go with where I think Otani's going.
Yeah,
That's where I
yeah.
think.
I mean, just
LA.
think about it, man. I mean, and
Well,
Dodgers
because he
have the
stays in
pitching.
Cali, he doesn't have to move. He can be
Dodgers-
right there. And
Well, Dodgers
Drive
have the
across
pitching.
town.
They have the pitching. You know, you could stand to just like you said, Ty. I mean, how stupid would that Dodgers lineup be? Who already score runs in bunches, right? Just put Trout or Otani in a DH role. By the way, if you do that, just have Otani swing the bat. I'm thinking he's going to DH, right? I don't know where you're going to put him. If he does, maybe he plays the outfield. But how stupid would that make a Dodgers lineup to put Trout or Otani in the middle of that lineup? Are you out of? I mean, dude, just pencil them into that.
Here's a
NLCS
dark
right now.
horse. A dark horse team that would be a contender every year is the Braves. Their young core
I don't
is to
think
get.
so, though, man.
You don't
Because
think so?
they're so
it
stacked.
depends. Listen, I think the
Yeah, what are you
Braves, they,
I mean, they are so stacked. Atlanta is so fucking stacked.
but the thing is, are they going to want to eat that kind of money when they're so young and so good right now? That's
the
a
other
tough
thing-
contract.
The
Yeah.
other thing about Atlanta is where does Otani fit in there? They're already, like you said, so good, and they've got all these young guys locked up for a
Yeah.
long.
for many years. Yeah, Atlanta's going to be for over the next 8 years. Atlanta's going to be in the World Series 4-5 times. Watch.
Very possible. Hey, Pat, quick question. I don't know if that was water you're drinking in that glass, but what the hell are you drinking today?
Well, today, fellas, something a little different. I'm going with a little bit of Absolute Mandarin vodka and one of my favorites, Orange Dreamsicle Rain Energy.
Rain
drink.
Energy. Attaboy.
Yes, sir. It's
Hey, I reverted to you know, you guys watched Yellowstone, TV show Yellowstone. It's such a big deal and
I've seen
everything,
a few
whatever.
episodes. I like it. I just don't watch it.
It's fantastic. If you want, I've got all of them on Blu-ray. I'll let you borrow them. But anyway,
Oh,
so I actually they drink nothing but Coors Banquet. And I saw this, and I'm not kidding you, man. I was up there and I was like, they had like a deal on 18 packs of 16-ounce cans of Coors Banquet for like $15. And I was
Holy
like,
sh-
yeah, I can do that. I could totally
Wow.
do that. I was blown away. It's like a new pack, I guess. They're just trying to get it pumped out there. I was like, I'll go with some Coors Banquet. What you got, T?
Fuck, that's cool, man. No, you know me. Old trusty.
Oh yeah, nice.
Old trusty.
Right.
But dude, that's crazy. That's super inexpensive. Beer's so expensive in
Oh,
Oregon.
everything is, man.
There's
Everything
a 10.
is.
You pay 10 cents per can
I
extra on
I
top
went
of
and-
what the alcohol costs.
I went to
So
the
a 30
store.
bomb, you pay $3 extra than it says on the little tab, just right off the top because it's 10 cents extra. It's a can charge.
Oh my god.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
No, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So a 30 bomb is $3 extra. So yeah, you get up to I've been up to the register and went like, that just said it was $24. I'm like, what in the fuck? And then yeah, dude, right off the top. So it's
Yeah.
27 right off the top.
Yeah, I went to the store last night and bought like 7 items and spent like $70. I was like, what the hell, man? Hey, so I just want to get, and I'll tell you what I think too, really quick. I think we all agree that Angels have to get rid of one or both. Ty, what do you think? I mean, are they losing them both, or who do you think is staying?
I think it's either. I don't think there's a 1-and-1 scenario. I don't think you keep one and let one walk. I think
Well,
it's
okay,
either
so, but
both.
just to be
No,
clear-
I just think it's either both. You keep both or both are gone.
But Trout is still under contract, so
Yeah.
they have the ability to keep Trout.
They
But you
could.
think they'll both be gone? That's what you think?
Yeah, and Anthony Rendon, hopefully they can get off their
Oh,
books
right.
because he has been the biggest disappointment since going
Yeah.
over there.
He's really stunk it up.
He's good. He's really good. He's been so hurt. I
Yeah,
bet he's played in less than 20% of the games since
and,
he's
and this is coming off of Pujols, who played 100 games one time in 10
Right.
years. One
Yeah.
time.
yeah.
After
Jimmy-
he
I
had
think-
the biggest contract in baseball at the time.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they both
Do you
gone,
think
too.
the Padres are the biggest disappointment of the season?
They got to be. Well, I don't know.
They're close.
Listen, I think
It's
the Mets
close.
got to be up there. Are the
Oh no,
Mets?
the Mets are number one. Hey, listen,
Oh,
trust me,
that
make
slipped
no
my mind,
mistake.
and that is probably number one.
I mean, I feel
68
like
and
Mets are up
80.
there,
Are
man.
you kidding me?
I thought
And
the
then we
Mets were going
dump-
to be just. I thought Mets were going to roll, and they were.
Yeah,
wow.
well,
It wasn't even
welcome
that they
to being
didn't
a
roll.
Mets fan. It doesn't
Well, it wasn't
happen.
even that they didn't roll. It was that they're just bad. Like, how can you have? How?
Hey,
It
the
doesn't
wound's
translate.
fresh, buddy. Pour the salt. Pour the salt. The wound is
No, and
fresh.
I'm not. Hey, listen, I'm not. This is not me. Listen, dude, I'm a Cardinals fan. Are you shitting me right now? I mean,
And actually, I mean, the wound's not that new. They've been out of playoff contention for a while.
oh, good.
I know.
I mean,
This was a lost season pretty early.
I think like the
Oh,
second
big
week
time.
of the season, we got mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. That's how shitty my year's been. Good God, man.
No, to go back to what you asked. I think they're both gone, and I think if they don't sign Ohtani, I think Mike Trout will force their hand, even though he's under contract, and he'll be gone too. And then the Angels will be in a full rebuild. And that's just my opinion. I don't see any scenario where they keep one of them or both of them. I think they're both going to be gone. And I think Ohtani will be gone first. Trout's going to be sitting there under contract going, nope, get me out of here. And they will find a way to precipitate a trade. I really do. I think
What about
the
you,
Angels
Jim?
are the worst run organization.
I think Lee is probably correct with Mike Trout. I can't see him being that guy that says, "Hey, I'm the best player to never win a World Series, to never be in the World
Rough.
Series."
Isn't that rough? That's
You
rough.
know, and no bullshit. He would be the best player.
Yeah.
to
Well, we
never
talked about it.
sniff
We
never
did a
sniff
podcast
the
about that,
fucking World Series.
We did a podcast about that, about whether you're an Angels fan, whether you're a Trout fan, doesn't matter. If you're just a baseball fan, how much does the world just ache to see Mike Trout, bottom of the ninth, bases jacked, down by 2 runs, game 7. Dude, that is what baseball is all about. And this guy has never even sniffed the postseason. I mean,
Well, but that's why we
history's
enjoyed
made-
the WBC that much come that game when
I
he
mean,
was there.
history-
And he got
right.
struck out by Ohtani, but still.
You
I
know,
think
history-
Jim's right. I think Jim's right on it. It's
like Reggie Jackson is Mr. October for what happened in the postseason. That's why Alex Rodriguez is kind of an afterthought, because he was great during the regular season, but he shit his pants come playoff time. It's all about what you do in the playoffs, man. If you never get to the playoffs, that's brutal, man. Mike Trout is just aching to be in the postseason. And I think if they screw around, and I think you're right, Lee, and allow Ohtani to go to highest bidder, which I don't know how that doesn't happen. I think Mike Trout's just going to say, I'm out, man. I'm out.
Yeah, I mean they don't have pitching. They don't have the Angels. Those were the 2 guys that were putting asses in the seat.
Right.
Right. And Mike Trout is, again, I would love to see him put together one healthy season.
Hit 40 home runs, have 100 RBIs.
Right.
Do what Mike Trout does, rob a bunch of home runs.
Yep.
Yeah,
but,
that's what baseball wants, right? Like everybody
Right.
wants Mike Trout. I think everybody wants better for Mike Trout.
You know how this is going to –
Not the kind of guy he's never been the kind of guy, right? That's like you're not going to see an article that, oh, Mike Trout's disgruntled with this or that. But behind the scenes, don't you think like people, his people are talking to the Angels going like, all right, hey guys, like what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
right.
Because
Well,
there's no reason for Mike Trout to stay if they're going to rebuild. He's getting too old. He's just
And
he's been in the
Exactly.
league so long. He's getting too old for a rebuild. He
And I will
cannot be a
go-
part of the rebuild.
And I will go even bigger picture. I think that not only will these 2 guys collectively not be wearing an Angels uniform at the start of next season, I think that entire front office better pack their shit. I think the Angels are going to fire everybody. I mean, or everybody of importance. I really believe. I think they have made a huge miscalculation by not at least trading one of those guys during the season. And I don't give a shit if you even got to have to lower your asking price. They should have found some way to get a deal done. I think if they would have lowered their asking price a little bit, I think they still could have got a relatively good deal. They would have got blasted for it at the time, but they would have come out looking like geniuses because
Better
now
than nothing. Anything would have been better than nothing.
because now they're going to get their ass handed to them this offseason. I mean, make no mistake.
That's exactly how that organization's been, though, man.
Hey,
I mean, I don't expect anything different.
Hey, if you're an Angels fan listening to this podcast, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no kidding.
This is a rough one.
And if
I
you
bet
are an
turned it
Angels
off-
fan-
I bet you turned it off 10 minutes ago.
my
No,
heart
if you
aches
are an
for your
Angels fan, I'm a
organization.
Mets fan, so I feel for you.
Yeah. Hey, can I switch gears? I wanted there's something interesting that I wanted to get your guys' opinion on. And don't get me wrong, I love this situation because I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm not trying to be a homer opinion, whatever, but I really want to get your guys' opinion. If you're sitting in here, the New York Jets, right, and you've got a relatively stud-filled roster, you're a good team, right? I mean, they got a great defense, good running game, offensive line's pretty good, good running game, the whole 9 yards. Do you just run with Zach, or do you give Detroit a call and bring in a Bridgewater? Do you bring in a Jameis Winston? Do you try to make a trade? Do you try to salvage the season? I mean, or do you just
No.
I shudder at the thought of them just going to Zach Wilson because I think everybody sees. Even Stephen A. came on and said the Jets are in big trouble with Zach at quarterback. Okay, they're getting ready to get their ass handed to them today when they go to Dallas. That game's
We're
going
going
to
to find out exactly how good that offensive line is. I
Yeah.
don't think they're good. I think they've got all kinds of issues on that offensive line.
Okay,
and
so even
you
more
saw-
reason, right?
And well, you saw 3 out of 4 plays Aaron Rodgers was touched.
Yeah,
So Zach Wilson's not going to fare much better back there, besides possibly being a little bit younger and a little bit more mobile. He's not going to fare much better. And then you got Dallas coming to town.
So what do you do,
Actually,
Jim?
you're going to Dallas.
Do you make a call? Do you go get a Marcus Mariota from Philly? I think he's with Philly now. Do you bring in a Marcus Mariota, a guy that can run a little bit, or what do you do?
Man, here's how I feel about it and Salah said the same thing. They're going to go with Zach Wilson. Now, unless
Brutal. That's just fucking brutal.
Well, at the same time, who do you bring in? Who do you bring in? You don't have to spend money or trade or whatever on.
That's going to be a
That's
Band-Aid.
That's going to be any better.
I saw something that came up
Better
on my
than
phone
Zach
that said
Wilson,
that they
man?
were. It said Jets officially out on Phillip Rivers and Big Ben. You're like, no shit.
No,
What the
shit.
fuck are you guys doing? What? No
did you-
shit.
Did you see
Do you
what
think
Jamel
either
Hill
of
There
those
was a
two
rumor
guys-
they were
you
gonna
think
talk-
Any of
they
those
were-
two guys want to come back to stand behind that offensive line? We
There was
saw it
literally-
happen in 4 plays.
There was a rumor that they were going to reach out to Andrew Luck. Come on, man.
Well,
Get out of
That
here.
would be
the thing
that
about
would be wild. That would be
That
fucking
would.
cool. Actually,
But
I'd love to
here's
see
the
Andrew
thing,
Luck
Zach-
back playing football.
Zach
I'd
You
love
have
to
to
see him
tell
back in
Hill.
the
in the
NFL.
program, boys. Zach
You have-
Wilson's been in the program. He knows the offense. And their offensive line is sketch. Their defense is great. They're gonna stick with him.
They're going to try
not
and
gonna
run the
try to
ball,
do
play
anything
good
crazy.
defense, and
Well, okay,
have
and
Zach
Rodgers is
Wilson
out
not
there
fuck
doing-
up.
Yeah, and Rodgers is out there doing like some advanced, surgeries, thinking
well,
he might
to
be able
me-
to come back for the playoffs if they make it.
But Lee, the question isn't what they're going to do. We all agree this is the Jets are going to ride or die with Zach. But what would you do? Is this your? I feel like I gotta. You know what? And I'm not saying I would bring in a Marcus Mariota and put him in the starting role. What I am saying is that having a Marcus Mariota or a Jameis Winston, or I'm not even saying that they're going to be better. But what I am saying is that when Zach Wilson throws his 4th pick in a first half. I mean, there's nobody else to go to,
Well,
man. I mean,
I'm
they got
still
one
with
of
Zach.
those-
Is there
Hey.
a worse hype man in the world than Jameis Winston? Have you guys
Maybe.
seen some of his pregame shit?
I'm just
If you
throwing his
haven't,
name-
look it up. It's hilarious. It's
Right.
so fucking funny.
Okay, it doesn't have to be him. It could be Bridgewater. It could be
No.
a
I'm
Jared
just
Stidham.
saying, outside of what you're saying, that on a totally different topic, Jameis
Sure.
Winston's pregame stuff, dude, is so fucking funny. Him being interviewed by like sideline reporters even after games and stuff, dude, hilarious. I guarantee that's on you. I bet somebody's clipped it all together and you can just watch them all, dude. It's so fucking
And just
funny.
laugh your ass off. Just laugh your
James
ass off.
Winston Didn't James Winston just put together a pretty solid year a couple years ago? Was it
A few
for
years
nearly
ago, he
70?
threw 30 plus touchdowns and he had 30 interceptions.
Yeah.
Well,
He
that
was
was
a
in
30
Tampa
30
Bay.
guy, but
Record
that's a
and
lot
pick.
of touchdowns too.
Wait, that was in Tampa Bay, but then I thought the
Yeah.
next year with the Saints, I thought he had a really solid year, like not Pro Bowl, but I thought
I
he
think
was
he's
really,
played okay when he's played. I don't think he
Oh,
played that
I
when
much.
he's
mean,
played.
listen, the point is, I'm not talking about going to quarterback and bringing him in saying you're starting for us. I'm just saying the game's coming, and it might be today. The game's coming where Zach Wilson's going to go out and by himself, he's going to turn the ball over 5 times by himself, fumbling it, throwing.
Did you watch him against Buffalo? I mean,
Huh?
I understand what you're saying because historically he's done that, but I mean, did you watch the game against Buffalo
I did.
where they beat Buffalo
Okay.
after Rodgers went out on the play
But
3
Lee,
or
listen,
third
man.
play?
Okay, but listen, the Green
I'm
Bay.
just telling you that I don't know that anyone else with that offensive line is going to do any better, and I don't know if it's worth the risk.
Lee,
And
They
how many
won by
weeks
one-
is it going to take to get a quarterback up
Listen.
to speed and stuff? At least Zach Wilson's been there.
I'm just talking about having a guy behind him. I'm not talking about making him start. Here's what I'm and you brought this up, so I'm gonna reiterate how I feel. The Jets won by 1 point. And to win by 1 point, they needed 4 turnovers from Buffalo. They needed a punt return for a touchdown. They needed, I mean, Josh Allen was throwing to, green jerseys all day long. They needed that kind of performance from Buffalo for them to win by 1 point. So it's not like, I mean, if Zach Wilson would have came in and been any kind of decent, they would have blown Buffalo out. They won by
I think
one.
that's as much the Jets' defense as it was mistakes by Allen.
Okay,
That
well,
defense is great,
that's-
man.
that's-
I'm
that's
sorry they
fair.
are.
that's fair. But listen, most Sundays the Jets are
They
not
won
going
by
to get
6, didn't they?
Huh?
Wasn't it a walk-off?
It wasn't one. No, it was the Arrowhead
thought
game.
they
The
I thought they
Chiefs
won by a
and
couple
Lions. It
points.
was one.
No, they won.
I thought
by
they won on a
6
walk-off pick
walk-off-
6.
walk-off punt return.
Or a punt, yeah, punt return.
Right.
That's
But I
crazy.
mean, they only won by a couple points, right?
Yeah,
6.
6.
Oh, they
The
won
game
by
was tied.
okay. So my point
But
is,
it was in overtime. I mean,
My-
it
my
was.
You know,
point is-
Pat, I'm a little bit worried that your legal situation and your surgery has got your brain a little bit worked up, man.
Well, the
I
good
mean, are you
news-
okay? I'm worried about
yeah.
you,
The
brother.
good
I'm worried
news is,
about you.
the good news they didn't even have to go anywhere near my ball sack, so that's awesome. And also, the lawsuit got
Ball
dropped,
sack?
so everything's. I had to check my daily planner with surgery coming up on my nutsack. I'm like, I don't remember that, but okay. So yeah, that's all good. And also the lawsuit, that was way overblown. Pardon the pun, by the way.
Well, evidently, our sources are not that great.
They're like, your sources are pretty atrocious. I ain't gonna fucking lie to you.
Hey, real quick, I want because Jim lives there. I got to ask him. So the Colorado State game, real quick. I mean, and I know rivalry games are huge. I love them. And pick a location, pick a state that you're in. Rivalry games are always intense, but this one with Deion and everything, I want your take on it because I watched that game and good Lord, that was a good football game. That was a tough one, but I think there were some things that really motivated the Rams a little bit. So I just kind of want your take on it.
Well, first off, the rivalry thing is blown out of proportion. I'm going to tell you guys the biggest rivalry in this area is Air Force and CSU.
Really? That's
Yeah.
fast.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and Air Force has handed them their ass for the last, I don't know how long.
Really? I had no idea.
So, but that's that's just general consensus. I mean, it's like Colorado and CSU have been so shitty for so long that nobody even cares. You know,
And they're
so
not
this
even
year-
they're not even in the same conference.
No. And so here comes this rivalry, which, by the way, the third game of the year. Rivalry weekend isn't the third game of the year, guys. So that was
It's at the end of the season.
that was overblown to begin with. Number two, man, I just got tired of it went beyond Deion. You know, they were reporting on Deion buying his entire team sunglasses or whatever, which may or may not be an NCAA violation. I don't know anymore. But so he, giving them all sunglasses so that they could all wear sunglasses. And
Sure.
what's really pissing me off is the sports analysts.
Yeah, I agree.
And they've all got sunglasses on, like just thumbing their nose at Jay Norville, the coach from Colorado State. And he said what he said. And yeah, maybe you don't want to stir that hornet's nest with Dion and stuff like that. And Dion's correct. Why would you do that? You know, but I felt that with all the bullshit that happened all week, with the different people that thought it was funny, you know, Dion and the glasses and the hat and everything, that turned around and, in my opinion, motivated Colorado State more than it motivated Colorado, because Colorado State came out and were pissed. I mean, you saw some hits that were very borderline.
And they played well. And they played well.
Way more than borderline. The
Yeah,
one on Travis Hunter was bad.
The one on Travis Hunter was sketch, man.
But that just shows the mindset. And man, from being a coach, there's times where you just turn your team loose. I'm telling you, you just turn them loose and you say,
Hey, marketing 101, man. Let's create the drama so people watch. It is, and Dion shows up, so there's a huge marketing ploy. But then there was some announcers really trying to ask, Jim, make it bigger than it was.
You coach, Jim, so I want to ask you this. Start with you. I want to get you guys' opinion, but and maybe I'm not looking at it from the right perspective. I haven't been a coach, so I don't know what you know. But just from my perspective, was it really bad what Coach Norville said? I mean, in a way, I tend to agree, man. When you speak to somebody, I feel like you should remove your hat and your glasses, and even if you don't agree with that sentiment, it's just from a respect factor. He's just preaching respect. It's not. I don't think it was anything disrespectful. Am I looking at it from the wrong angle, or I don't think what he said was horrible.
It wasn't horrible, and I don't think he meant to disrespect. I don't think he meant the way that it was blown out of proportion.
Right.
But what he said was directed right at Dion.
It was, and I see that. I see that now.
And Dion, we've known him. I've known him since I haven't known him personally, but watched him since college football. Sure. You knew that you had to know that this was going to be a motivating factor. This was going to be news. This was going to be everything else taking a shot at Coach Prime. And he did. He did. It was a shot directed at Coach Prime. But again, I think it almost backfired. Because
it did big time.
Well, late in the fourth quarter, it looked like it was gonna backfire because they were up by 8, and the Buffaloes are down on their own 2-yard line. Right. So it wasn't just about getting a touchdown; they had to get the 2-point conversion. The fact that they did all that is nothing short of amazing. So Buffalo truly saved their season. They've got two teams. They got Oregon and USC coming up. Are they 4-2 after the next 2 weeks? What do you guys think?
I didn't say no. The hype's got to stop. I mean, yes, Dion has done an amazing thing in Colorado with all those players and what he's done. Sure. But they're about to get to the meat of a schedule where it's not sticking, man. If they get one of the next 2, I'll be surprised. Yeah. And if they, I mean, I won't be shocked, but I mean, I personally don't think that they can beat Oregon. I don't think they can beat USC. They don't have the depth, man. They don't have the depth on either side of the ball. So I don't see that. But this is where, the Dion bubble comes down a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, yes, he's fantastic.
They're going to run into some true Pac-12 teams that traditionally are incredibly fast, well coached.
God. And just deep. They have depth. Deep. That's the biggest thing.
They're rolling guys off the bench. Quite frankly, would start for Dion. But the thing is that Colorado has played 3 teams that they have looked so dominant athletically against. And for the most part, I mean, they're skilled positions. They are fast and stuff like that. But
they're good.
They're not as deep. They're good. They're not as deep, but they're going to run into an Oregon team that's going to pull
a track team, right?
Too deep.
I mean, Oregon just runs
out of the ball.
Dude,
Yeah.
USC is
USC,
gonna have
dude.
100 athletes that could play at any given moment.
Well,
Right.
and Oregon, dude, Oregon's just a track team. I mean, they just run, I mean, that
Yeah.
offense, try to slow down that NFL,
And,
the
and
NFL
then
spread offense. I mean, that Oregon offense.
Colorado
Dude.
still has to play outside of Oregon and USC. They still got to play UCLA,
Oh.
Oregon State, Washington State,
Washington
and Utah.
State. And
Every,
Utah.
Washington
every
State
one of
is,
them ranked.
oof.
Every
oh,
one of
yeah.
them ranked.
Yeah, I mean,
Wazoo, over Wazoo, they're up and coming. I
And
was
you-
blown
you
away
blink-
yesterday by
listen,
what they did.
You blink your eyes, and Oregon will hang 21 points on the board. You blink, and they've got 20. I mean, they go up and down that field as well as anybody, probably as well as anybody in the country. They're that offense, man. So
Can
I
we look
think
at like just the Pac Northwest? I mean, how many teams are in the top 25 just out of the Pac Northwest?
yeah,
It's
and it's
insane.
not going to be a conference next year.
man.
No, and that's the thing that sucks. You got
Yeah.
Oregon State, you got Utah,
There's like
Washington
7
State's
ranked
up
teams.
there, Washington, Oregon. Good Lord.
This is where the rubber meets the road, man. We're going to find out. I mean, listen, he's already, if nothing else happens, Deion has already got that Colorado football team with an absolute upward projection arrow. I mean, they
Oh,
are.
his
they're
recruiting
getting
going
next
forward is
year.
going to be stellar.
Going forward, they're going to be. I feel like he's got them headed toward the powerhouse projection. But listen, they only won one game last year, so we can't all collectively expect that they're just going to just jump into Alabama or Georgia type, status. They're not. There's going to be some bumps, and I really think these next 2 weeks we're going to see how flawed this Colorado team truly is. They're a good team. They're up and coming. They got a lot of talent, but this next 2 weeks, they're only going up against 2 teams that are no joke.
But don't you think that this is all going to be part of this is going to be part of the deal? Like, okay, you've got your first 3, you beat Nebraska, you beat Colorado State. TCU was a big win.
Right?
Yep,
It was.
That was a huge win.
Okay. But that's right out of the, don't you think that there's some kind of a solace in saying, all right, we're 3-0. I don't think anybody expects us to beat Oregon. I don't think anybody expects us to beat USC. We've got a big part of our schedule coming up. Don't you think that just it's going to allow Colorado to go into a game with a completely different outlook, with a completely different mindset, because you're like, okay, just let it fly, boys. Let's just let it fly and see what happens. We're expected to lose. I mean, all 4 of us right here are pretty much resigning the fact they're going to be 3-2.
My opinion, absolutely.
Yeah.
These 2 games, I don't see how they can compete. They don't have.
And then
Travis Hunter's out.
eligible. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
being
Travis,
bowl
that's
eligible,
a
dude.
huge loss. Travis Hunter.
Their schedule is fucking tough.
It is.
There's
And-
8,
and-
there's 8 Pac-12 teams in the top 25 right now.
Good Lord, man. And
Isn't that
Travis,
crazy?
the
Like I
best player,
said, it's huge.
arguably their best player, like Lee said, is out for probably a few weeks.
Couple weeks.
And let's flip the script, Jim. You're right. You're absolutely right. If I was Deion, I'd be playing the victim. Oh, we're going to get crushed. The whole world thinks we're garbage. I mean, they don't, but that's the script I'd play.
Do you
But if
honestly think Deion will play that role? No
Well,
way.
I think he's going to tell his team that they're underdogs. Yeah, I think he's going to play the make his team feel like the whole world's rooting against you. I feel like he's going to get his team fired up. But if you flip the script on that, right? Oregon is going to. I mean, they're going to look at it like what a way to get fired up. It's going to be on national TV. You're going up against a team that the whole world is apparently rooting for and thinks it is great. This is a chance for Oregon to shut everybody up, man. So
I don't think Oregon cares. I don't think there's enough bulletin board material that
Right.
Oregon
I don't
is
think so.
actually that worried. I think
I don't
Oregon's
think-
going,
I think
dude,
you're right,
we're going
Ty.
to go out there and we're going to fucking
We're
run
just
them
gonna take
up
care
and
of
down
business.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
Same with
And
USC. I don't think
if they
USC looks at it that
if
way
they
either.
don't, I bet USC's going, we don't give a fuck.
right, no fucks. Right.
Yeah, that's great. And
Yep.
and it's not even like a disrespectful thing. I just think
No.
those are
Well, it's a
teams that are
talent level.
like, dude, we will run you up and down the fucking field until
Okay, well-
you have to bring you have to rotate guys in, and then we're going at
And
them.
then we'll destroy them.
Right. Here's
Like
the
about
real
you.
difference. Here's the real difference. Right now, as we speak, and it's probably going to change next year and the year after that. But right now, as we speak, Colorado's got 1, maybe 2 guys that are going to end up in the NFL. Oregon's probably got 4 or 5. USC's probably got 5 or 6. That's a difference.
The Buffs might have 3 to 5. The
I don't
Sanders
know. Well,
boys,
I don't know
and
right
Travis
now.
Hunter, and I'm just saying.
Well, they might develop into that, but right now, they've got probably 1, maybe 2 guys that the NFL's legitimately looking at. Oregon and USC have got guys all over that field right now that are going to go in 7 rounds of the draft. I mean, they all over the field.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Is the talent? Deion still has not caught up to the talent level, and that matters, man. That matters.
It does, but I think his recruiting going forward with what he's done just in the first 3 games is gonna make that happen. I think he will completely rebuild the Buffaloes. I do. I think he will definitely make that happen.
They're just
he already
not
came
ready
out and
for that.
said, someone asked him if he would ever consider the NFL, and he said no. He said, I can't. Millionaires don't listen and they don't want to learn. I'm going to stay right in college. He even said in an interview that he would be, if some NFL team came calling, he'd tell them no. He's going to stay in college. He likes it here, and the kids are impressionable and they want to learn. We got to wrap this up, boys. Anybody got some cool curtain calls? Anything crazy that happened this weekend? Anything you want to bring up? I mean, other than I'm glad, Pat, you don't have legal issues and you didn't have to have the surgery. We were a little bit concerned.
Yes.
And I'll do a mini cheers to that one, but good for you, buddy. I was a little concerned. So anything else you want to bring up? Anybody?
Yeah. I have one curtain call. It's more of a sarcastic curtain call, but it's a curtain call. So in an era where in a day of times that we're dealing with, where kids have basically their own personal laptop at their disposal in their hand and can access God knows whatever information that they, of course there's child locks and blah, 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 but there's ways around that. I mean, in this era, I find it fascinating that in order for your kid to watch an R-rated movie at the fucking movie theater, you still have to plant your ass cheeks next to him and watch the damn thing with him. Are we not in an age, man, where we can just say R-rated movies? Okay. If he's not 7 years old, just let him watch the goddamn movie. We're really in an age where we're still enforcing R-rated movies. I'm sorry, the parents got to be sitting next to you. We're still doing that? I mean, that's almost like losing bags at the airport. It blows me away that we're still monitoring what our kids can watch. Our kids see this shit all day long, every day of the week on their phones and everywhere. And I'm sorry, a note won't work. You've got to watch your movie with them. I mean, fuck all the way off, man. That's just how I.
Well, but here's the thing. Understand this. This is the thing that I agree with you on, because it
is
a hot take.
It's kind of a hot take, man.
That's a hot. I think
Like,
that's a bit
the
of
show-
a hot take.
The show that I brought up, Yellowstone, there's the F word in it. This is on cable TV.
Right.
So when it was on Paramount TV, there was nudity. The character Beth walking naked down. Yeah, no, all of this stuff
Nudity
wasn't
rocks.
when I was young. Okay.
Yeah. And that's
Now,
all cool.
kids, if it's on parenting, man. So if you're not there, they're gonna see it there. And yeah, agreed. A theater? Oh, because wait, we're fancy. No, get the fuck out of here, man.
But I mean, listen, Lee, that's all fine and good, but don't drop your kid off to go see an R-rated fucking movie because you'll be coming back to pick him up. I just want to be clear.
Or to sit next to him.
Jesus, what the fuck is going on in this world? Anyway, sorry, my bad. That's my curtain call. Good job, movie theaters. Well done.
I got one super quick, and this is something that I just picked up. I always had like cable and stuff. I was never really huge into the streaming aspect of it, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I got the Hulu, ESPN Plus, all that stuff. Mad props to ESPN Plus, because I watched some college football games yesterday that I would have had no business seeing, including my Grizzlies playing, but.
Really?
Hey man, and I'm telling you right now, oh hell, the Bobcats were on earlier, the Grizz at 6, and I was like, oh, okay. So I've had my issues with the worldwide leader, but damn man, thank you very much, because this has just completely transformed my Saturdays. So I'm gonna give it cheers to ESPN Plus for sure. Hell yeah.
Nice. Go
Mine
ahead.
goes out to Michael Penix Jr., quarterback for the University of
What?
Washington.
What was his last name?
The last thing I said, Junior. It's Penix.
Well played. Well played.
Penix.
Yeah.
Penix.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
dude,
you.
He's
My
fucking
audio's not
lighting
good.
it up. He's fucking lighting it up. I
He
mean,
is
I
lighting
think.
it up in Indiana transfer, correct?
Yep.
Didn't he
Yep.
play at Indiana in the Big Ten
Yeah.
and
Yep.
transferred to Washington?
Had some injury stuff that like guys kept jumping in, but holy cow, man,
Good for him.
He's the real deal. He is the
Good
real
for
deal.
him. That's awesome.
Nice. I like it.
Well, my
Jim?
curtain call goes out to, I'm going to go Homer. I don't give a shit. I'm going to go Homer, and I'm going to say my curtain call goes out to Coach Calhoun and that goddamn Air Force defense. Bo Richter and the boys tearing it up. And, you know,
How are they doing?
last year with Air Force, it was kind of about the offense. It was kind of about Brad Roberts and running the football and Zeke Daniels, you know. But I'm telling you, this defense this year is no joke. They just don't give up shit, and they are on the quarterback time and time again. So
Are they 2-0?
yeah. They haven't lost yet. They're looking good. We
Are they ranked?
got a game with Army coming up at Mile High. So yeah, I mean it's another Air Force team, and this Coach Calhoun, dude, like I said, he coaches with the players that he's got, and them kids, I don't have to tell you, the Air Force kids, the Service Academy kids are 110% effort all the time, and it's kind of like watching the Grizzly.
Cheers.
So,
Yep, love it.
here's
Love
Coach
it.
Calhoun.
That's awesome, man. For real.
Good
I will
deal.
cheers all of that stuff, boys.
Oh,
So
yeah.
okay, that's our episode. I appreciate. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Thank you.
Patrick. Glad you're feeling better. And you can catch us. You can
Me
catch
too.
us now on Spotify. Remember, while you're driving, while you're working, you know, tune us in on Spotify, and you can listen to us there. You can contact us on Gmail, Cocktails and Curveballs, and Instagram, Facebook, Cocktails and Curveballs. Also, check us out on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. And but again, you don't want to see these mugs. Check us out on Spotify.
Go to Spotify.
Most people don't.
Yeah. So,
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
All right, cheers.